Colt Technology Services has always been amongst the most progressive network operators. So I'm talking with Francesca Serravalle, Emerging Technology Director at Colt, about the operator's views on cloud-native developments. So Francesca, thanks for joining us. What does cloud-native mean to Colt?
Great question, Ray. Thank you. So cloud native is a very broad term and spans many topics. We could start with the IT infrastructure and in particular with data. It's really important to have a data infrastructure where data are harmonized in order to enable collaboration between the business unit. Moving on into the IT application, the OSS and BSS stack need to be cloud native in terms of microservices and need to be containerized in order to deliver and enable a phased transformation approach to drive a digital operation and business layers. Now, moving on into the network layer, we have already introduced SDN and AV to drive a digital infrastructure through NAVI, digital connectivity and digital network services. But what we need to do is to move from a VNF-based words, a VM-based words to a containerized based words. And finally, moving into the customer layer, we need to see digital marketplace and portal to drive digital experience through real-time provisioning of network services, as well as consumption-based commercial models.
So would you describe Colt as a cloud-native organization?
Yes, I would. I would describe Colt with a clear cloud-native vision. We are in that train. We have started that journey, and we know where we want to go. Our journey started back in 2016, where we have introduced SDN capability to virtualize the connectivity. And then as we did that, we were able to introduce some automation in terms of service lifecycle, and then also to cloudify the experience of connectivity services, enabling our customer to provision connectivity services on demand. The on-demand portal is an in-house capability. We have software engineers that use DevOps and agile methodology for continuous innovation, and that gives us a lot of flexibility and give us a very strong position in terms of innovation. For example, as we introduced NAV in 2020, now we're also able to expand the on-demand portal in order not only to offer connectivity services on demand, but also network services on demand through a VNF marketplace, which is going to be key to enable our telco cloud vision. We also have, in terms of IT infrastructure, a chief data officer that is really looking to create and define a data infrastructure, leveraging on the data management pipeline of cloud service providers to deliver a single view, a single truth in terms of data. And this is going to be key if we want to be able to drive collaboration between business unit and move towards that outcome-driven, solution-driven business model.
Okay, so still a lot of focus there on the customer experience. How has Colt benefited from adopting cloud-native processes?
Well, cloud-native processes has enabled us to innovate the customer engagement model, as I was saying before, through enabling a digital experience in terms of provisioning both connectivity and network services. But it has also enabled us to innovate the partnership model. We have a very strong focus on API that enable us to make our network services and network resources to be consumed from partner capability and partner marketplace. And then finally, it also enables us to innovate a business model. Cloud native, it's a very important component of our network as a platform vision, which really enable the connectivity to be part of that digital ecosystem and then deliver the ICT stack for end-to-end digital services.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of operators trying to adopt cloud native processes, cloud native technologies. What would you say are the main barriers for network operators, for telcos that are trying to adopt cloud native?
Yeah, that's a very important question. I've mentioned a few things, the legacy words, the mindset, and the culture. Let's start with the legacy words. Yes, we're trying to become the digital service providers, but let's not forget that we still have a legacy world to take care of. And this legacy world is based on, it has a hardware-based network, manual operation, monolithic software, and waterfall-based software development methodologies. And that is going to really kind of slow down the journey towards becoming a full cloud native. We also need to take into account that historically we've been very rigid in terms of organization. If you think on the product line management, it's very well governed by a gate process, a thorough gate process, which can start with gate zero from a change request from a customer, and before you go to you get to an FOA, doing a pilot with a friendly customer, you really have to go through many iteration and many gates. So I think that need to change, and is changing already. In terms of mindset and culture, again, we need to move from a product-centric organization and industry to a solution-centric industry, which requires developing synergy internally and externally with partners. And internally, yes, it starts with the data. We need to have a common data model to really be able to drive collaboration. But we also, I would say, it also starts with the mindset. So it's really important that organization drives new ways of working as well.
Yes, that gets mentioned a lot. And you mentioned partners there. How does working closely with the large public cloud companies impact cloud native strategies at companies such as Colt? Do such relationships help?
Yeah, yes, they do. I mean, let's first mention the fact that the cloud companies are the kings of agile process. They have a development platform with a very well defined CD and CI pipeline that helps software engineer to do very quickly MVP. They have innovation platform with a very well-defined data pipeline that helps data scientists to experiment in AI. For example, our data scientist team, they're using those innovation platform to introduce cognitive capability into our business function. They are the kings of containerization and service-based architecture, and also they are the king on self-service portal and digital marketplace. We are part of their marketplace because we consume API from most of those cloud service provider. So lots to learn and lots of synergy to develop. And I think let's not forget that telco are the kings of reliability, resilience, and security. And now that security and connectivity are converging, and the connectivity is become an enabler of mission critical application, there is a lot of skills required in that field. So I would say lots of synergy, bidirectional synergy to develop between us and the cloud company, and we're doing that in many ways.
Absolutely, lots of strengths on both sides for sure. And what can the broader industry do to help companies such as Colt to further embrace cloud native? What would you like to see from the broader ecosystem?
I will mention one thing. I think it's important to standardize the process of onboarding containerized network function, so that we don't fall with the same mistake of VNF onboarding, where service provider have to do lots of works in terms of validation and certification. We also would like to see more vendors with a clear roadmap of a containerized based network function, because I think the industry is not ready yet or maybe they don't see the demand to move from a VNF to a CNF world. And sometimes we see, some of the vendors that they mention to have a containerized network function, but what we actually see it's a VNF wrapped up into container. So yeah, there are still of let's say progress still to be made in terms of having a full containerized network layer.
Okay, well, excellent points to end on there, and I'm sure the industry will take good note of that. Francesca, thanks very much for joining us today and sharing Colt's views on cloud native. Thank you.
A pleasure. Thank you.